Hi, my name is Deb Enright, and this is Money Matters. Thank you for joining us. And as always, thank you to Darrell Thompson of Raymond James for his generous sponsorship of our Money Matters program. Today, we look to understand how a school and community business create a partnership that will benefit the school community and also advance the concerns of the business. Our example today stems from one of our WCS ambassadors, Darrell Harvey, Territory Manager for Bluebell Creameries. Darrell is in the process of putting together 3 collaborative efforts with 2 of our schools, Bethesda Elementary and Summit High School. We will talk to him today about his time in our ambassador program, what he learned from the experience, and how he came about with his partnership ideas. We will then invite Steve Fisher, principal of Bethesda Elementary, to join us to talk about the kinds of conversations he has begun to have with Darrell to secure the partnership and get it up and running. All that begins right after our break, so stay tuned to find out how Bluebell Creameries and Bethesda Elementary are working together to strengthen their ties in the community. We will be right back. Welcome back to Money Matters. Joining me now is one of our brand new WCS ambassadors, Darrell Harvey. Welcome, Darrell.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here today.
I'm glad to be here.
This is going to be fun to talk about kind of how an ambassador goes about setting up one of these partnerships. So can you tell us a little bit about who you work for and why you're one of the most popular guys in the whole program and here at the central office?
I actually work for Bluebell Ice Cream. I'm a pretty popular guy everywhere I go.
You are. We were really happy when you said yes. But let's get to that. So when you received this invitation from Dr. Looney that said, hey, we've got this new program, and it's called the Ambassador Program, and you're going to be with us for 5 months, and you said yes. How come?
I actually have 2 children in the system, so I kind of wanted to see what goes on behind the scenes, and I just thought it'd be really interesting to be a part of that.
It's kind of fun when you're a parent as well to get that experience, because I think we probably put it to the sense about what are you as a business are looking at, but I think it was kind of fun when we were on the buses and we'd have these kind of back and forths about what the kids, now that you see it as a parent, kind of, and how broad the quality is in the district. Well, good. So why don't you tell me one of your favorite parts of the program?
It was just meeting the people, really, just to see the staff and the administration, and every stop you're just blown away by the principals and the assistant principals, and it was just awesome to see.
Oh, good. Now, we had you go through the lunch line, ride a school bus, sit on the floor with kids, help them read. I mean, was there one part that kind of struck you and went, well, this is kind of interesting?
Yeah, with the kids, the smaller elementary school kids, just seeing the technology they use and getting down there with them and seeing how they use, computers at such a young age.
It's crazy, right?
It is crazy compared to when I was going to school.
I know, back with were they using chisels and stone?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, okay. I had slate, so a little bit younger than you. I think that, as I recall, that was kind of one of those moments when you said, wow, this may be something that we can connect with. And I think, as I said in the introduction, Bluebell's stepping up to do about 3 different partnerships. And we are going to meet the school leader you spoke with at Bethesda to find out kind of how that process evolves to get those partnerships up and running. But can you tell us what you're going to do at Summit High School? Because, I'm thrilled about that as well.
One thing we're going to do is we're going to have an ice cream party for the first graduating seniors. But another thing we do, as you recall, when we went to Summit, they have a culinary arts program, and they fixed lunch for us one of the days. So we are going to have those students use Bluebell ice cream to kind of create their own dessert, and we're going to have local restaurateurs maybe to judge and see who's the best, and who knows, we may steal their idea.
Oh gosh, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And I think what I like about this one is, rather than flavor, it's like, what can you do with the desserts? Because as chefs, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Well, if you do need a taste tester on the whole judging thing, I'm really happy to help with that, just in case you want to put that in your back pocket.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay. Oh, geez, thanks. Well, I guess if it's from the Bluebell guy, that works fine.
Right. You're in now.
So in terms of like when we went to Summit, because I think that's kind of neat that you've positioned at least 2 of the partnerships there. What would Bluebell hope to get from the partnership with Summit?
Well, we currently have the Williamson County school system. We service Williamson County school systems. We just want to kind of build that relationship with the students, and just kind of know Bluebell as their ice cream. But it's more than that. It's just we want to be involved with the community. We're not just here, selling ice cream. We want to be involved with the community, and I happen to live in that community, so
even better.
Even better.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you guys were sitting down, that just so everybody knows, for the culinary arts thing, they changed a whole classroom and had white linen tablecloths and centerpieces, and I thought the food was incredible.
It was.
I really thought I was at a restaurant. And I guess every course one of the students had designed, and y'all were taking pictures and tweeting out about the food and stuff. Did you have a chance to talk to any of the kids who were in the program?
Just briefly, in passing. We were kind of on a tight schedule.
Yes, we were on a tight schedule. That's right.
But you could tell their enthusiasm for the culinary arts. So we just kind of want them to use that in creating these new desserts.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of giving, it almost feels like a reality show. I think when you were describing it to us, I thought, this is really cool. And then maybe if we can get some restaurateurs to be involved, or some central office people to be involved, because I think that would be important, to be representative of the whole system. I think that'll be great for the kids in terms of feedback from professionals. Well, good. And then in terms of the graduating seniors, I can't imagine how exciting that's going to be the first graduating class from a high school.
I know.
So can you, are you going to talk with some of those, how are you going to make that happen? How are you going to get that, or what are some of your thoughts? Because I think what we want to talk about, and as we move into our next segment, it's kind of like, well, I really am not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do, but I've got this great stuff, and I really want to do this great stuff. So kind of how are you going to walk that to make that graduation party happen, or what steps do you think you're going to walk?
It's kind of like you said. I know what I want to do. It's just how do we get there? And I plan on meeting with the leadership over there, and I want to do what's best for, for them, how to kind of make a smooth transition for them, and how, they think it should work, and we'll just go from there.
Oh, I like that. So you can really customize it to the kids and to the needs of that particular school. Now, I know Bluebell's already involved in this. What kind of things do you guys already do?
Oh, we do ice cream parties. For Blue Ribbon schools, we'll do an ice cream party for the entire school. For a Teacher of the Year, we'll do the same thing. And then just little things like one class, it was they were doing baskets to auction off to raise money. And one class just so happened their basket was ice cream. So we gave them some good things to put in
that's
their basket.
Wonderful. Oh, I like that. So it can be little or it can be big.
Right.
And so I like that there's a variety of things people can do, and they can either do it as an individual or they can do it as a corporation. And I didn't know Bluebell was a national corporation until I came to visit you guys, which I think is really kind of neat to have somebody who's of that level to come and help our schools as well.
Yeah, we're still small. We're in 22
it's very
states.
homey, I have to say.
We currently cover 22 states, mostly in the southeast, but you can find us nationwide.
Now, if you were going to encourage somebody, somebody calls and says, well, they've invited me to this ambassador thing. What would you say to them to hopefully encourage them to participate in our next class?
I think it's an experience that you'll take with you for the rest of your life, honestly. It was just so much fun just seeing what goes on and interacting with the children and the leadership of the schools. It was amazing.
Now, so when I know you have children who are in the system, but when was the last time you'd really been in a classroom? I mean, and watched instruction?
It was when I was in school.
Yeah.
Right, and it's changed quite a bit.
It's very different, isn't
right.
it? It's really, I think for me, I mean, if truth be told, you kind of think about parenting and you have this vision because it's what you either,
right.
what happened to you, I guess, or whatever your school looked like. And I think it has been fun to see that while some things look the same, wow, these kids are on a whole different level.
Different level.
Just incredibly. And then with that whole technology stuff, it's much different.
Yes, it is. I was amazed, like I said, to see those students working on computers at that age and thinking, you can't help but think of how it was when you were in kindergarten. It was nothing like that.
Now, did you take any of those conversations back to your kids and say, oh, by the way, I learned this, or?
I did, actually. I have a rising 8th grader, and we talked a lot about it. And she thought it was pretty neat that I was getting to do this.
So she's going to 8th grade this
right.
year? Oh, how cool. So you've already kind of see what high school looks like before she even
right.
gets there. And I understand we also looked at a rival high school, is
right.
that correct?
We did, a rival middle school.
Rival middle school.
Yes, and they gave us a cup and things, and I couldn't take those in the house.
See, I think that's true dedication. When you told me that, I thought that was the greatest thing possible. It is really kind of interesting, you know, when you think about kind of the rivalries and, you know, what goes on in between the middle schools and
right.
the high schools and, you know, the dedication for your middle school. I was just really touched by that, Darrell. That was fabulous.
Well, I couldn't let my little girl down.
There you go. Well, we'll be back in just a little bit. Darrell's going to stay with us, which is great. And then we're going to bring along his new partner in crime on the elementary level, Steve Fisher, who's the principal at Bethesda Elementary. So stay with us, and we'll be right back. We have launched a BYOT initiative to involve the entire Williamson County community and beyond. We want to put more laptops into the hands of our students in the elementary and secondary levels, district-wide. So we're looking for anyone, individuals, groups, businesses, other civic organizations, to join us. It's easy. We encourage you to participate on any level. Just think $500 per laptop and send whatever you can. You can go to the wcs.edu website and find the red button that says Invest Now. Click on that. You'll find instructions for giving there. So think about it. A laptop for every child to help our BYOT initiative become even more successful in its second year around. And welcome back to Money Matters. Joining us is the principal of Bethesda Elementary. Bethesda is located in Thompson Station. His name is Steve Fisher. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Deb.
Hey, let's learn about you a little bit. So okay. How many years in education and all that stuff? Just start from the beginning.
Sure. I was kind of a late bloomer. I went back to school at age 31 to get my teaching certificate. And so I just finished year 21 in public education.
Wow.
And just finished my 9th year as principal at Bethesda.
So tell me about your school.
It's a great school. Everybody says it's the best kept secret in Williamson County, which we agree. Some equate it to that it's kind of like Mayberry and that you have this rural setting with one store, a crossroads as part of our community, and then lots of folks in the community that have a lot of history in the school. that still are involved with us at Bethesda.
Now, how old is this? I know your building's fairly new, but how
Sure.
old is Bethesda Elementary?
As an institution,
Yeah.
it was a K-12 school up until the mid-'70s.
Wow.
And then it was consolidated with College Grove to create Page High School.
Okay.
And there's been a school in the community since the late 1870s.
Oh my goodness.
And our building opened in 1990.
It's a beautiful building.
Thank you.
So when you heard about this like ambassador thing, which nobody really knew what it was going to be, and certainly I think we just kind of did it, learn by doing, I guess we could say.
Sure.
So when we talked about it at one of the principals' meetings, I think it really was 2 minutes later. I think I got either an email or a text from you that said, we really want to be on this. We want to join this. So why?
Well, we have a little different population than most Williamson County. We're not unique by any means, but there are some real pockets of need in our part of the school district, in our zone, because the majority of our zone, which is a huge zone, square mileage, is zoned minimum 5 acres. And so we still have a lot of families that are lower income. The majority of our students we do pull from across I-65 from Spring Hill, which are upper middle income children and families. And the main reason was because we have one local business, Bethesda Market and Deli, and we had no other business connections. I had made one business connection in Spring Hill over my tenure as principal, and they ended up going out of business. So, but anyway, we were just really excited to have the ambassadors come to our school, so we kind of broadened our horizons with community support.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I remember when we were talking, when we were all together, when we had landed at the school, you reminded us, because we transport everybody on school buses, that some of your little ones, because you're K through 5, some of your little ones drive just under an hour in the morning and then going home, and kind of what that means to the classroom and instruction for these little ones to come in after riding so long.
Sure, yeah.
And that can make a big difference.
It can, because it is such a large zone. A lot of our kids, especially our kids that are most needy, they ride the bus because parents need to go off to work, and sometimes they're on the bus 45 minutes in the morning before they get to school. So,
well, when we left, I remember we were all on the bus, and we drove for quite a while. I think that was one of the things you guys remarked. But as I had to walk down the center aisle, Steve, what I had to tell these guys who were, checking emails and stuff, because they're all decision makers and wherever they are, I had to say, because you had reminded me, coverage could drop.
Yes, any minute.
Coverage could drop. And what was your reaction when we were driving for a while, and all of a sudden, the things you guys are used to aren't necessarily there. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I actually kind of knew about it because
Spring
I
Hill.
live right there.
Right.
So it wasn't a surprise to me. I knew. But I kept looking around. I was like, yeah, you're about to lose that stuff.
Everything else is still working.
You know where the pockets are.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we get down to Bethesda, and Darrell talked just a little bit ago about how magical it was to be with the kids. Can you talk about kind of what technology means for you in terms of instruction now, and maybe some of the challenges you face having that technology need?
Sure. Well, presently, we don't face a lot of the challenges we have in the past with technology. We have, thanks to our wonderful PTO and again the community support that's already there, we have interactive whiteboards in every classroom, at least 3 student computers, sometimes more. We do have a new mobile laptop cart. But we just made that a priority my first 5 years there to kind of bring us forward with technology. And now our teachers, they can't teach without their technology, which is that's the way it should be. It should be a transparent tool.
Yeah.
Just like we use a cell phone now, or use a phone. Used to, when the phone was on the wall or on the desk,
right?
It was like, it wasn't a big deal to say, well, hey, I'm using the telephone.
Yeah.
So it now they can't teach without it because it's just such a vital part. Plus, it's just so engaging for children. With technology, they really are immediately engaged, if not just visually, but actually those kids use the tools as part of instruction, especially during whole group instruction.
Oh, that's great. So technology is really cool. School buses are cool, but so is ice cream. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about, and I guess what I really want us to talk about in the conversation is, okay, so Darrell's got great plans and great ideas. He sees things in the schools, and you know, Bluebell does so much already for us. But then he was really kind of struck by maybe what some stuff he could do in terms of reaching out to Bethesda. So talk to us about kind of what's happened in some current conversations you folks are having, so that somebody who's got this same kind of interest knows kind of what to do.
Well, to preface that, we met last week and had lunch together, and thanks again for bringing barbecue.
It's my pleasure.
It was kind of a potluck deal we put together, and thanks again for bringing that great ice cream. We love to try out new products. But we have been at Bethesda. We started last year a partnership with a faith-based organization here in Franklin called Against the Grain. They've been in Franklin Special School District for several years. They wanted to reach out into the community. Their contact person, Carmen Powell, met with Mayor Anderson about, and our elementary director, Denise Goodwin, about connecting in Williamson County. And Mayor Anderson was one of our tutors last year. He came out once a month to tutor one of our first grade children. And but the best part about Against the Grain is it has a program called Image Builders, where we actually train the 4th and 5th grade students to mentor and tutor younger children in the school, so we can continue to build that community. And that's where Darrell came into the picture. We started talking about how could we use the Bluebell product to kind of incentivize some of that, which is always an easy go. But the thing that, as we talked last week over barbecue and good Bluebell ice cream, I saw, the thing that I really saw light up with Darrell is the fact that it just was kind of a catharsis that we said, hey, why don't you guys come in, bring your regional folks and local folks in, and let's train you to be image builders in the school, so that our kids can connect with what you do in the corporate world, what it's like to have to wear a tie every day, why that's important, what it means to dress for success, those kind of things.
So when we started talking about this program and what it would mean and who was already involved, what did that, and there was this, you're exactly right, there was like a moment where you could just see that this was going to be the coolest thing for you to do. So tell me what went through your mind when you were hearing from Steve and from Against the Grain about what this possibility could bring for you.
It's kind of selfish, I guess, in the way that I thought how it would make you feel to help a child that needs it, and possibly change the child's life, help them in any way. I just thought how rewarding that would feel to do something like that. That's what got me really interested in it.
I think that's so cool. I think it really is a neat way to not just think about the product, but what can I as a person bring? So what, time, I think we know in schools in particular is probably the most expensive resource, right, that we can expend. And so to have somebody who's very busy say, I think I can maybe do something like that. So what does it look like when someone says, yeah, I want a mentor? What's it look like?
Well, they commit to be assigned to a student, or more than one student if they have time, but at least one, to commit to meet either one day a week or one day every 2 or like Mayor Anderson, he met once a month on the same day at the same time with the first grade child, and helped them with their reading that they were struggling with. And just for that child to know that there's a person outside my school who is either a county mayor or someone that works at the central office, or someone, it's even neater when you work for Bluebell Ice Cream.
Seriously. But
just someone that's in the corporate world that is very busy, but they're taking time out to come see me at least once a week, every other week, or at least once a month, just that commitment. And as we know, if students don't know how much you care about them, they're not going to care a whole lot about learning. So this is just one more piece in that, to add on to those layers of personnel in the school that care for kids.
And I think it's also really important to remember, because sometimes it is just making that first step, you know, calling up the principal or talking to somebody in your neighborhood, like, I just want to fit in. I don't really, but I don't have a degree in reading, or I really wasn't really all that great in math, or, so it's really not about that. I mean, obviously, it's great to help them strengthen their skills, but what I'm hearing is, here's somebody, this is an opportunity for somebody in the community, no matter what they do, to come in and just make a personal connection with a child, something that's consistent, and talk about your day, talk about their day. Is that about right?
Sure. Well, and one of the things that Dr. Looney leads us with is for me, the two most important things in the 4 R's that he lays out for us is rigor and relevance. There has to be a rigorous curriculum, but the community partners and mentors that come in help make that rigorous hard work sometimes that these kids have to do really relevant, because they can see from firsthand knowledge that, hey, I went to school, I got out of high school, I went to college, this is how, you know, now I'm a regional director for Bluebell.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Well, you know, I know you're gonna, this will be hard to believe, but we're almost out of time. I can't believe, you guys are delightful. I can't wait to hear all the different things you're gonna come up with. I really wanna hear about, if you have the chance, because I know the other thing that's really hard is giving time but making time.
Sure.
And it's not that you don't have that you don't want to, it's really just the realities of being in corporate life. But I would really like to hear the stories about if you're able to make that connection, because I think that's great. I do want to just put in the pitch again that the whole taste tester thing for culinary arts, designing the dessert stuff, I'm your girl. I'm sure Steve would be happy as well.
Happy to
so,
help,
you know,
yes.
because we think everyone should be involved. But I really want to thank you, and I'm so glad that you're an ambassador. I think it's going to be really fun to see where these guys kind of take us, right?
Sure. Well, it's been a real pleasure for me to get to know you better,
Thank you.
Darrell,
Same here.
and especially being one of our parents in our feeder cluster. So glad to
good.
have you.
Yeah,
partnered with
that was
Bethesda.
really good.
Thank
So
you.
it was easy and painless, right, to
Right.
make the
Pretty
connection.
much. Yeah.
Just give him a buzz or whomever
That's
a
right.
buzz, and just start that. Because I think sometimes we don't know how to get started. And so I thank you very much for providing that model for people and for coming in and talking about it, because I really think sometimes it's just knowing that, yeah, I'm in that spot where I could do something, I'm just not really sure how to get started. So thanks to both of you.
right.
To
Thank
Darrell
you.
Harvey of Bluebell Creameries,
Yeah.
with your nice blue shirt on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to Steve Fisher of Bethesda Elementary.
It's a
And we'll be
pleasure.
back in just a moment. Elementary school kids, strengthening reading and math skills, and ice cream. What could be better? High school students, the first graduating class, and ice cream. Need I say more? And CTE culinary arts students, local restaurateurs, and ice cream. Am I dreaming? What do you have to offer to the kids in our schools? We seem to have ice cream covered thanks to Darrell Harvey and Bluebell Creameries. Community partnerships strengthen our relationships with our school leaders, and that is good for all of us in Williamson County. Not sure how to get started, or if your idea for a partnership is something a school needs or wants? Just contact one of your neighborhood principals. Check out our website to get their contact information, www.wcs.edu. Start the conversation and learn from them how vitally important community members are to the success of their schools and the development of their students. As many of you are learning, Williamson County Schools has to do a lot with a challenging amount of budget resources. Learning how to help us stretch our resources as efficiently and effectively as we can depends on all of us developing partnerships with our schools to fill in the gaps with our time, talent, and treasure in the areas of academics, the arts, and athletics. And that is why money matters. That's our show for today. Thank you to our sponsor, Darrell Thompson of Raymond James, for his continued support. My name is Deb Enright, and this is Money Matters. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.